I love it too, man. This is awesome. This is peak Sailor in my opinion, which is crazy. And I even shared a video on YouTube, one of these clips from 365. And there was a bunch of comments saying, well, Sailor's an engineer. He's one of the smartest people in the world. Of course, he figured this out quickly. I don't know. I'm still not convinced that somebody spent a couple months or less than a year in Bitcoin and has this level of understanding of it. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm just saying maybe there's something else here. But anyways, let's keep watching this series. Why Bitcoin succeeds.
If Twitter can ask,
I love that exhale. I've seen so many clips of Sailor doing that exhale. I want to watch that again.
Twitter's quality of service goes. If Twitter can ask for 100,000 Satoshi deposit, and if people give it, and if Twitter's quality of service goes up by an order of magnitude and their cybersecurity enhances, that might put pressure on Instagram. Mm-hmm. That might put pressure on Google. And ultimately, now what you have is every big tech company competing with every other tech company to improve their service by building Bitcoin into their service. Because Bitcoin can eliminate fraud on YouTube. And Bitcoin can eliminate fraud and cyber insecurity on Instagram. And so you've got something. It's like, why do I adopt this new technology? Because I can or because I need to? The early adopter does it.
Sorry, I haven't paused this. I haven't stopped Sailor at all yet, actually. But I wanted to stop here because I think this is very important to understand about this whole conversation here. So mostly just like where we are, because you might be hearing some of these things and the things we talked about in the last episode in terms of spam and everybody having a lightning wallet and attaching it to their Twitter and their Instagram and their YouTube. And you might be thinking like, it seems so far away. But yeah, you kind of have to just understand where we are right now, because again, nobody understands what Bitcoin is. Nobody understands why Bitcoin is so valuable. And nobody understands what Bitcoin could be used for other than a very, 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 very small group of people on the planet right now. And so with that in mind, now isn't really the time to be trying to implement and weave Bitcoin into everything. It's just not. The time that we're in right now is for accumulating these as many sats as we possibly can, because if you understand what these sats are going to be used for in the future, you understand the value of them and how scarce and rare and valuable they're going to be. And so all this stuff is going to happen in time. Everything between business adoption, between integration into platforms like this to eliminate spam, integrated into mortgages. Every house is going to have Bitcoin attached to it. But there's only so much Bitcoin. There's only so many Satoshis that exist and will ever exist. And so now is the time to accumulate. And now is the time to build, essentially. Accumulate, build, collaborate, talk about it, and get this out in the world, because it's going to happen eventually, but we are the ones who have the ability to accelerate that. I think that's the main thing, is just to understand where we are and understand the power that we have at this stage right now. And so obviously we're not going to, beat ourselves to death over trying to push adoption, but it is one of those things where every single video, every single podcast, every single post, every discussion that you have, these are all steps in the right direction. These are all steps that make this thing happen faster, accelerate it. So I just want to throw that in there, because some of the things he's talking about here, even though this was 5 years ago and you're like, well, none of this has played out yet, but understand where we are and how early we are and what we should be focused on right now. And this stuff is going to come without a doubt. It's just a matter of time.
Because you can, and the later adopters do it because they need to. If PayPal doesn't roll out Bitcoin and Square does, then Square starts to eat PayPal's lunch, right? And if PayPal and Square both roll out Bitcoin and Apple and Google don't, right, then they're at a loss, right? So you have competition that's embracing new technology to progress the civilization to a better space. Bitcoin's the future for cyber. It's the promise of cybersecurity.
Right.
In fact, that's the great irony people criticize Bitcoin as maybe being a tool of cyber hackers. But the ultimate destiny of Bitcoin is to make cyberspace safe for 8 billion people.
Yeah.
By building it into every cyber offering and creating, skin in the game.
Yes.
For every malefactor, and consequences that are not based upon counterparty risk and don't have to be threaded through nation states or central banks or credit card company.
Yeah, it's truly transformational. And, just simply by introducing that risk of loss for agents in the system, you're just incentivizing honesty, which is, again, kind of this grand theme with Bitcoin. And one other benefit that, this is kind of just a promise of Bitcoin now, it's still experimental, but the idea of building social media applications on top of the Lightning Network in a way that they are actually censorship resistant. I think that experimentation is very important, especially as we see more people being deplatformed, canceled, censored, et cetera. So it just seems like there's this potential for Bitcoin to restore honest, unstoppable discourse in the digital age.
Yeah, Bitcoin is the crypto asset network, and Lightning is this crypto transaction network. And it's possible for us to have other crypto application networks, decentralized, open, non-custodial, and they all have promise based upon the core idea. So if we wrap up this entire Bitcoin standard discussion, why does Bitcoin succeed in theory? Well, because the base layer protocol is mathematically sound and secure, and the application level layer protocol is sound and it's open to upgrade. And therefore, the property rights that it delivers are perfected and they're open to upgrade. The open network means that you can upgrade them. And when I say upgrade, maybe upgrade means keep making the Lightning Network better. Maybe upgrade means roll out Square Cash App with cash tags. Maybe the upgrade means build it into Apple Pay. What does it mean? It means 100,000 different things, right? There's a free market, a Darwinian competition to build applications and other types of platforms that are upgrading the Bitcoin protocol, and they're drawing on the promise of digital property in order to meet some other use case. And there'll be some that will succeed. There's going to be exchanges that fail. Some succeed. There's 100,000 ways to think about a wallet, right? Some will be better than others. The market will sort it out. We've got a very competitive Darwinian system, but the result is every intelligent person that encounters Bitcoin, they're incentivized to find a way to make Bitcoin more valuable. And they might do it by a creative financial application. They might do it with security. They might do it with a device. They might do it with a software program. They might do it by plugging into a different network, a different way. And some ideas will be great ideas, and other ideas will be good ideas, and some ideas will be bad ideas. And Bitcoin will benefit from the good ideas. It will accelerate from the great ideas, and it will ignore and slough off the bad ideas. And that's something that gold and fiat, they don't have working for them, right? You could imagine some gold applications, but you are crippled, gold jewelry, gold goblets, gold coins. And then that's the end of the road with gold. And with fiat applications, we took that much further. Heck, we created sovereign debt. We created all sorts of interesting money markets and all sorts of other securities with fiat. We created travel.
Okay, for time purposes, I think that it's best to stop there. Peak Sailor, though, man. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss listening to Sailor when he was talking about this. I wouldn't say he's gotten distracted through the years with strategy and the products, but he kind of has. You know, because it's one of those things where we as individuals only have so much time in a day. And he's allocated a ton of his time in a day to strategy and to stretch and strife and stride. And I mean, selfishly, I wish Sailor was still in this mode where he was explaining the benefits of Bitcoin, the asset, not Bitcoin, the treasury company or the financial product. But that's an aside there. So I think the one takeaway from this episode, other than the couple that I've gave already, but it's funny to listen to Breedlove talk about a social network being built on top of the Lightning Network. Sounds kind of familiar. Sounds like something we've been talking about for a couple of years now, almost 3 years. So that would have been, I've been on Nostr for almost 3 years now. In February 2026, it'll be 3 years for me. So this has been about a year before Nostr, I think, or before I was at least. I think Nostr was invented in 2022, or the first, I guess, created. But it's like, it's kind of shitty, pardon my language, but to hear Breedlove and Sailor talk about these things, the potential of Bitcoin, and neither of these guys are on Nostr at all, ever. I think Breedlove comes once in a while when his YouTube channel gets hit by something, but that's the unfortunate part, I think. And who am I to judge? Who knows where I'll be in a couple years from now? I hope I don't become something like that. But again, who am I to judge? I just wish that these guys, there's a lot of Bitcoiners out there now, I think, who have crossed the Rubicon into the corporate finance world, the people that they were fighting against before. But again, who am I to judge? Maybe I'll be there in 2 years. I won't be. But anyways, another great episode there. Lots to think about. We're going to keep this party going. I'll probably do another one here. I got to sneeze. No, I don't. Thought I did. I might do one more here because it's supper time. We're getting hungry. The Jays game starts in about an hour. And so I want to have everything kind of full steam ahead. But I will give you one piece of advice here. And if you're squeamish, look away. Not really, but it's gross. I have no idea how this happened, to be honest with you. I better move it in case it spills here. But I tried to get cute. I wanted to make a little pick-me-up. There was some espresso martinis in the fridge. And sometimes I like to add a little bit of cream to my coffee now and then whenever I have some available. And so I put espresso martini into a cup that I was going to maybe sip on during the Sailor series here. And I poured a little bit of salted caramel Wayne Gretzky creamer in there, Irish cream. And that's the result. So not only did I waste an espresso martini, but I wasted some of my favorite Irish whiskey there. So yuck. I took one sip of it. Hopefully I don't get sick tonight. But anyways, we're going to go make a fresh espresso martini here for the last episode. And then we'll have a beer maybe for the Jays game tonight. It is Saturday. So you're watching this on Sunday. I hope you're having a great day today. Thank you again for watching and for being here and for the nonstop support. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.